Happening now in Yarmouth, Eversource officials are providing an update on power restoration efforts across Massachusetts. Things seem to be getting underway. Let's listen in.
I can put it right here, Caitlin, if you want.
It's just the service, because I'm competing with all of their satellites.
Capital L, capital C, lowercase f a, capital R, capital 6, capital N. They're asking what your name is so they can have it at the bottom. What's your name real quick?
It's Doug Foley, F-O-L-E-Y, President Electric Operations for Eversource here in Massachusetts.
Are we expecting another cruise?
No, I think that's one of the company cars.
We're good.
We good to go?
I think so, yeah.
All right, good. Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming down and visiting us today. Wanted to give an update on the progress that's been happening since the storm ended yesterday. Right now we currently have 230,000 or so customers out in the southern portion of Massachusetts. The breakup is 164,000 on the Cape and about 60,000 in the Plymouth, New Bedford area. Over the last, this morning our focus has been on, as it was yesterday, public safety events. The winds yesterday, as you're very familiar, was difficult for our crews to get out and perform any restoration activities. Our focus yesterday was on public service events, so those are events where there's wires down and trees and poles and equipment down in the roadways. So we worked with local officials to clear those roads for emergency personnel. That was really our focus yesterday. Completed about 230 of those public safety events yesterday. We also started some DA, but really the DA is DA efforts happening this morning. Same challenges that everybody had. Our ability to get out in blizzard-like conditions and do our job was nearly impossible, and we did what we could do safely. So the focus today is to continue on with any public service safety events with the communities, get our DA teams out there and do some DA to understand exactly what we have so we can know the extent of the catastrophic damage that we have down here in the Cape and the Plymouth area. And then, of course, we have crews based on the DA information that are starting the restoration process. And just as a reminder, during the event, we restored about 145,000 customers from the beginning of the event till this morning. Currently, right now, we have about 2,000 line crews, so we have thousands of people working for the restoration down in the southeast area. We have 2,000 line crews, tree crews, DA, and teams in our dispatch centers that are safely dispatching all the events that we're aware of. And as we get the DAs out there, I'm sure we'll find some more damage and we're ready to respond. Here in Yarmouth, you can see this is a mobile material area. This is a show-up area for the contractors that we bring in to help us. Contractors that come from Detroit, Canada, Ohio, in the New England area. Those resources will come here, check in, get food and water, and also the materials they need to get the lights back on in the Cape. A couple things that we're doing other than public safety and DA is we brought some extra snow removal equipment in, working with the municipalities, but certainly that equipment is helping us get our crews to the damage that we have. And then we have 2 helicopters, one in the Plymouth, New Bedford area and one down here in the Cape and Martha's Vineyard. So they're going to do a rapid patrol of our right-of-ways, our transmission right-of-ways, our distribution right-of-ways. It's the quickest way for us to do an assessment. They quickly can identify any equipment failures on those right-of-ways. And then we have drones that we can use to get in a little bit tighter than the helicopter, so our engineers can truly understand what we have and what we need to make that repair. We had some substantial icing down at the canal area in Sandwich, and also our substation right down the street in West Barnstable. And you can see from this type of snow, very moist, Gorilla Glue type snow, cement-like type snow, that caked on some of our equipment at the substation. We brought in a specialized equipment and a crew. It's essentially a pressure washer. They're able to clean off the ice and the caked on snow on our equipment so we can get that energized, and that's happening in that location right now. We also are getting additional resources over to Martha's Vineyard, as we, shared in a few press releases when we pre-staged our crews. One of the considerations is Martha's Vineyards. We do have full-time employees over there, but we typically bring in additional contractors and tree crews to help out. And we're working closely with the Steamship Authority to get some additional resources over there. And our focus, and I want to give a shout out to the municipalities, we have strong partnerships. We're working hand in hand, understanding what their critical needs are, whether it's a block road or a shelter or a town hall. They have a direct line to us, and we're working hard to make sure we meet our needs. And our focus right now is to do the DA, restore what we can, and keep everybody safe. And for our customers, I just want to say, thank you for their patience. We know how difficult it is not to have electricity, and certainly a cold, wintry day here in New England is tough for all of us. And I appreciate their patience. And we have everything we need to just get the job done. Our crews, with these type of conditions, the ability to get out and get our trucks there and get our crews into the backyards, it's going to be difficult, but they're up to the challenge. And I just want everybody to know we're going to continue to work hard until we complete our task. So thank you.
Expand on what DA is.
Oh, DA is damage assessment. So those are teams of engineers that design our systems, like on Blue Sky. So they're out doing a rapid patrol. They're driving down the streets in the backyards where our equipment is. And we brought in contractor resources as well. They're basically all engineers, so they can do a quick assessment. And the idea with damage assessment is to get out there, do a rapid damage assessment, understand the catastrophic equipment damage that we think we have, able to make sure we have the materials in place, so when crews are available to make the repairs, they know exactly what they're going to show up to.
And what can you say to people who are without power right now and are choosing that take days for this to be stored?
Yeah, I would say that there are some shelters open in some of these communities, so if they get to the point where they need to seek shelter, I would suggest they do that. It will take days. It is a multi-day restoration, but that is really for the last couple customers. Not obviously, but we'll be restoring today, and that will continue for the next couple days. But the last couple customers, unfortunately, will be a couple days out. We typically, our restoration philosophy is to do the largest circuits to pick up the largest customers as quickly as possible. But as we get into the neighborhoods and get into the backyards, it's a little bit difficult for the crews to trudge through the snow, identify what's wrong, and make the repairs. So just the fact that we're dealing with a wintry amount of snow that's down here, 27, 30 inches of snow, it's just going to take time for the crews to trudge through the snow and make those repairs. So we look back at our records down here in the Cape in Eastern Mass. It was January of 2022. The type of weather that we had and the amount of damage is very similar to that event.
How many people were without power then?
It was, I think it peaked, based on my notes, my recollection, it peaked at about 300,000 customers. Almost the same, exactly. Yeah, it looks like this might be a little more because we restored about 140 so far. We have 230 to go, so I think this is going to beat the January 2022 record.
I know you've been through the numbers of outages, but do you have any sense of towns on the Cape that are fully without power? I saw some reports of several towns.
Yeah, that's really the design of the Cape. As you know, it's a peninsula. So the distribution system and transmission system, starts from the canal and works all the way down to P-Town. So from Wellfleet down to the P-Town area, we essentially have one circuit that feeds that area. We do have the BES, the battery down in P-Town. That was operating prior to and during the beginning of the event. And then we have some damage down in the Truro area. And then the battery came offline because of some damage that's out on the street.
Exactly how many people out there today trying to restore?
Yeah, so our primary line crews, there's going to be about 2,000 line crews that's going to be in the area. So prior to the event, we brought in about 500 resources and pre-positioned them before the storm arrived. And then we had 150 internal line crews down in Eastern Mass. Yesterday, we made the decision, as I think everybody knows, Eversource operates in 3 states, Connecticut and New Hampshire. We brought in a contingent of 100 line crews yesterday afternoon that are here in the Cape. They're in the Falmouth area. And with the associated DA, tree crews, and management team to dispatch those crews. We also brought in crews from Western Mass, another 50 additional crews. We didn't get any damage in New Hampshire or Western Mass, so they traveled yesterday as well, pre-positioned, and they're out working in the Plymouth area. And right now, and we expect that they arrive in a couple hours, but about 150 additional crews from Connecticut. So we had about 500 crews down in Connecticut. Connecticut didn't receive the damage that we anticipated, which is great. And those crews are coming up with the associated teams to help us. So in all told, we have about 2,000 line crews, 300 or 400 tree crews, 200 DA crews. So close to say about 300 to 400 employees and contractors are focusing on this restoration effort.
Yesterday, safety lines go up. What time did they start? Last night or this night?
It's this morning. So yesterday we did restore what we could do safely. Not all the work to restore customers is up in the air in a bucket truck. So as I mentioned earlier, our focus yesterday was public service, clearing those roads, opening up those roads for the municipalities, performing limited DA, and the work that we could do to restore customers, the crews did that safely. But today the conditions are great for a lot of good activity and repair activity. Great, thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Thanks for your time.
All right, welcome in everybody. It's 11:30 on a Tuesday here, a very busy Monday. My goodness, the weekend was busy with forecasting. So our first blizzard in about 4 years is behind us.
In the
but
books.
The impacts are still here.
Yeah, I don't think we're breaking any news here. If you live to the south, you are waking up to some kind of mess, and you're probably not even watching this because there's so many power outages down there. A lot of folks still are digging out, south of, say, Taunton, Norton, Attleboro, down towards Fall River. We just saw some chopper shots, overhead shots, and it's like there's just so much snow down there.
It's been incredible to see here from a forecasting perspective, and then later yesterday evening from a viewing perspective for myself, seeing all the impacts, people being stuck on roadways. It has been pretty interesting. There's a lot of people trying to claw out here, and kind of clear themselves.
It's going to take a while, yeah.
is.
Let's take a look at the final snowfall totals from yesterday, and you'll see, not to pat ourselves on the back, but a pretty decent forecast, I'd say. Certainly the highest amounts were over southeastern Mass, where we thought about 2 to 3 feet down there. In fact, we even heard there's one report in Fall River of closer to 40 inches.
41.
What do you do with 41 inches of snow?
Sit and look at it.
But certainly the better, how farther north and west you go, the lower the snow amounts. And I can just say from driving in this morning, coming from the north, roads are really great. So issues are not necessarily north of the Pike, it's more so south at this point. But just wanted to throw this up, just comparing it to, these are our 2 big storms of 2026, that one back in January and yesterday. And I'd say yesterday was certainly more impactful for a larger group of people. And that was obviously with the winds involved, a little bit of coastal flooding, and of course the high-end snow amounts. And that January storm was just sort of like a blanket 1 to 2 feet of fluffy Arctic snow. Again, impactful, a lot of snow on the roofs, ice dams, all that. But I think overall yesterday was, of course, being a blizzard was a little bit bigger of a deal.
It was one of the first there, and I usually always say, Terry, like every sort of storm has its unique thumbprint, and I think the January one, it brought us a very beautiful start to the winter season with a big old snowstorm, something we haven't experienced in quite some time, but this one was different. It was sort of like an abandoned event. Some people up north got a bit less snow, some people down south, they got a lot of it as well, probably a little bit more than what they wanted or even that they're used to. So far in the season, friends, we have been raking in the numbers, over 60 inches, just over, in fact. So Boston is setting up to have quite a memorable snowstorm, even considering the blizzard here, but, Worcester still a bit more than Boston.
Right now, we're 2 feet above average for where we should be, and it's been several years since Boston had even above average season all together. So, and as far as February's go, you'll see this is the most snow now. I think we're up to 26.3, the biggest February snowfall in Boston since that 2015 crazy winter. So, and I mean, look at 64.8 in 2015. That's more than double the snow we've had this month. It's still, I know I was here and I was working. It's just still hard to imagine out there right now with 3 more feet of snow.
I mean, it's such a singular event. Even I was out last week on vacation and then flying back over the weekend. I overheard 2 gentlemen in Dallas when I was waiting for my next flight, and they were saying, "Oh, I'm going home to Manchester," and another guy was saying, "Oh, I'm going home to Westwood." And one of the guys was commenting like, "Oh, okay, it seems like the Northeast and New England is back to the days of old."
Back to, yeah.
Yeah, and even one of them referenced 2015, and another one referenced sort of what the 90s storms were like too. But, are we back to business in winter? Yeah, I mean, we've got about a month left.
I'd say we already are, even if we didn't get another flake for the entire winter, which sadly is not going to be the case. I think this is definitely a throwback to some of the our bigger winters of the past. But Worcester yesterday, 16.2, just a little bit less than Boston, but they're almost up to 80 inches this season. Again, just like Boston, about 2 feet above where they should be. So there's no shortage of snowfall anywhere. But I think the biggest winner from yesterday, by far, well, I don't know if winner's the right word, but Providence.
The star of the show?
Sort of. Providence had their biggest snowstorm ever recorded, and they've been recording records in Providence for about 125 years. And they blew away by almost 10 inches the prior record, which was the Blizzard 78. That is a record, smashing a record by almost 10 inches, an all-time snow record, is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So folks in Providence, I don't know if it's, if you're feeling, I'm sure you would rather not have had almost 40 inches of snow yesterday.
I mean, and look at the decades in between. The blizzard of 78 was still standing in the top spot. And then you take a storm like yesterday, less than 24 hours, came to and obliterated that record.
Yeah, keep in mind the blizzard of 78 happened over the course of 2.5 days. Yesterday, literally most of that snow all fell within 8 to 12 hours. It just snowed so heavy, so quickly. So anyways, that one, let's put it to bed and talk about more snow coming this week. A little bit of snow up there in the upper Midwest heading our way.
You see sort of those little tentacles kind of swooping down through Minneapolis right now. That is our next Clipper system, friends. And it'll be here towards the early hours, just around sunrise for tomorrow morning. As we come on air and sort of say good morning to you at 5 a.m., we're likely going to begin to see the first flakes beginning to fly, mainly over towards Worcester County. And then Boston gets in on the chat roughly around 6 to 7 a.m. tomorrow. So you're definitely going to be greeted with some extra snow. But the good news is, even though the timeline isn't the best, we're not expecting a wallop like we received yesterday. And I think for the most part, we can tolerate what's going to happen tomorrow. It will just likely add a little bit of an insult to the cleanup that's already necessary.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants more snow at this point, right? But, I mean, needless to say, I think we do have a little bit more coming tomorrow. The roads will probably get whitened again in most of the area. I think it's, there may be even a little rain mixing in Cape and the Islands, but we're talking a minor amount. I mean, again, this is basically like frosting on top of the cake of what's out there now. But if we can get upwards of 2 or 3 inches, and that maybe in the Worcester Hills somewhere, or the Berkshires, that is plowable snow again. So it's just another sort of round of snow that we have to deal with. albeit so much less than yesterday, of course.
And here's the other thing, Terry. Long-term forecast, even in the short term, okay, we are allowing for some melting, partial melting
Right.
in the afternoons. The overnight hours are still going to be below freezing. But the daytime highs through at least the weekend are going to be above freezing.
Yeah.
So we may add a couple, let's say maybe 2-3 inches tops, but we're going to be taking it from below because we're going to be melting.
Yeah, that's a great point. I do think overall, by the say from between now and say the end of the weekend, we have a couple chances of snow, but I think we'll probably have a net loss of snow overall, just given the melting and the high sun angle and all that. So
Transactional.
yeah.
There. Okay.
So one more thing we're watching. This is Thursday night into Friday. This particular model is one of the more aggressive ones with the snow. There's going to be a storm passing to our south. Now this model brings snow all the way up to the Mass New Hampshire border on Friday morning. Not to say it's not possible, but I think it's on the unlikely side. I think the higher chance of looking at all the models together, the best chance is that this sort of scrapes by and maybe the south coast, south portion of the southeastern Mass gets some light snow, and there's probably not much north of there. But either way, we could be talking about a few more inches. We'll see how the models come in later today. Just another sort of perhaps plowable event for some parts of the area Thursday night and Friday, but not a major storm. We have no major storms in the forecast through the weekend, so you can at least rest easy there. Now take a look here. This is basically the weekend showing you what's going down. Not a whole lot. And you can see Saturday, the front coming through, pretty dry, and then it looks pretty cold to start next week.
Yeah, we got conditions cooling down here. The weekend doesn't look that bad. We'll show you the 7-day here. The weekend begins to warm up here, other than that sort of kind of Thursday, Friday, bit of a kiss in the weather systems, which should be drier by Friday evening, and certainly as we look towards Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday will be days that we can kind of take a breath here, maybe do a little bit more cleaning and kind of clearing out here before things settle back down to colder conditions, but at least we'll take the daytime highs on Saturday and Sunday into the 40s. I believe today's daytime average is about 41 degrees, so we're trending warmer. Here's the other good news. Even though we have some minor issues there in the weather world, the sun angle is getting higher, the rays are getting stronger, so even as we perhaps may have a couple more events to come in the season, the days of which we can melt it becomes even better with those chances.
Yeah, with every day we get, the melting increases. So that's definitely a bit of good news. If you're thinking, are we done with the winter storms? I don't know about that. There's actually, the next chance of anything significant, I would say, would be next Tuesday or Wednesday. Some of the models are giving us a decent storm, but that's a week away. So we'll focus on the next couple of days for now. And again, Jay will be here tomorrow morning guiding you through that little bit of snow that's coming through.
Absolutely. Like and follow us here on YouTube, everybody. We'll see you today at noon. All right, everybody, welcome back here. A weather alert continues again because of yesterday's snow showers there. We are expecting another stable day, so it's back to stability for the board there. But it was all about Providence. It was the #1 snowiest day, and obviously that blizzard put down a lot of snow there, going well past